Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Hello, David Wood. How are you doing?
We're live discussing the epic Destiny versus Sneako debate. Just sending out this link to everyone.
Funny part about all of this is that apparently Destiny was live talking to different people, and then Sneko apparently joined the conversation as kind of an ambush situation. So it has been clipped into an 11-minute video on Destiny's own channel. But as I was looking at that, I also noticed that there is that afterwards, just today, another clip was published where he's actually reviewing Mohammed Hijab, where he's reviewing Sneako consulting Mohammed Hijab about child marriage. This is going to be very interesting.
This is what's really awesome about the age that we're in right now, ladies and gentlemen. You got all these people finding out about Islam. And then, like, right now, I don't know what he's talking about right there, but that's the sort of look of, am I seriously sitting here analyzing a clip of whether it's okay to bang little kids? Seriously, the 21st century. This is where the world is at.
No, that's the reason they get offended is because they think that other people are loading that word in a really negative way and they're being hateful with it.
No, it comes from a deep-rooted shame that they're never going to be.
Okay, small.
Here's the you got Sneako psychoanalyzing gay people.
So the background here is apparently that that there was a fight about somebody calling someone a slur for gay people, and then somebody else in response calling them a slur for, or calling them thugs or gangsters or something like that. And there was a whole discussion around it. And then Sneako jumps into the conversation about when it's okay and not okay to call people things. And I think the context then is that Destiny goes into how do you decide whether something is offensive or not? And then he brings the topic to Islam, and that's where it gets out of control.
Accepted for who they are.
Really?
That's not.
Is that so? Yeah. Wait, is that why Muslims are the most? Wait, is that why Muslims are the most fragile people on the internet? Then, is because when you make fun of their religion, they get so mad about it that they come out and they attack literally every person they see. Even if it means beheading people in a comic book.
He's got a point, right? He's got a point.
So I'm asking you, so then would you say every time a Muslim lashes out at somebody because you make fun of their religion, is that because they have a deep-seated shame about it?
Oh, yes, exactly. We got confirmation that I was correct in my interpretation.
Yes. He's sharp.
Not because of this morality thing, because nobody wants to be fat, nobody wants to be broke.
Nobody wants to be a Muslim? Why do they get so offended when you make fun of them?
Sneako says that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Okay, explain.
Hey,
you have to explain
so this
that,
is
right?
This is a perfect example of Sneako's Sneako's used to interacting with some other dumb streamers and stuff. And what he just did, that's the sort of thing. It's like when he's interacting with somebody, he can say, oh, the book of the council. And if he's talking to someone who doesn't know any better, you can kind of get away with that stuff for a little while. And this is a situation where, the reason the gay community gets so offended is because deep down they're ashamed about it. That would like make sense. And he would get away with that to one of his regular streaming partners. You're messing with the wrong one right here, Sneako, because he's gonna take whatever you say can and will be used against your religion.
Has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Like,
that's exactly. You said that people get offended for being gay because they're ashamed to be gay. So I'm asking you, then, do people get offended by being called Muslim because they're Muslims? Are they ashamed of being Muslims?
The way he debates Cuffham is he's going to equate being Muslim to being gay. Nobody gets.
This is so funny. You see what Sneako is doing there immediately. He doesn't actually have a proper response to it. So he starts describing what Destiny is trying to do instead of actually responding to the point.
He's just caught off guard. It's like, oh, I'm not used to people being smart and spotting the flaws in my argument at all.
Do you just not have relationships anymore? Or
no, you could have a relationship, but with the correct sex.
Yeah, but if you don't have any sexual attraction towards them, why would you do that?
That's the wrong feeling. There's
you see in that example, everything that he says is based on absolutely nothing. There's no foundation, no ground, no evidence, nothing at all. It's all just whatever he wants to believe, he presents it without supporting it, without reinforcing it in any way.
According to the world, the same reason we tell that they should stop being attracted to kids. It's like you should have a morality about
Hold on.
that.
Why do you think pedophilia is wrong.
Oh, this is weird. Wait a minute. Wait. Are you kidding me? Is it Sneako who actually brought it up?
It's like he's saying, hey, you can't just say, here's what I'm attracted to, if that's gay or something. You can't just say I'm attracted to this, and that's your defense, because if so, then someone could say, well, I'm attracted to children. And so Sneako's pointing out, well, you wouldn't just let someone slide and say, hey, you know, I get to be attracted to children, and that's fine. And so, but he's trying to respond to the criticism of calling people gay, and he walks right into the biggest slap in the face to Islam on the planet. Like, open the door. Like, and here's the thing. I guarantee you, as soon as Sneko showed up, Destiny is going, oh, let's talk. Oh, we got to get to the topic of pedophilia in Islam. That's where I want to go. The question is how to get there. And then Sneko, hey, what about pedophiles, huh? What about that? That's wrong. That's
how
evil,
stupid can you be? How stupid can you be?
That's the wrong feeling. That's just an incorrect.
When you say the wrong feeling,
that's the wrong feeling.
It's the wrong feeling.
What's the wrong feeling?
What? According to who?
According to the world, the same reason you tell pedophile that they should stop being attracted to kids. It's like you should have a morality.
Wait a minute, I thought this was uncensored. Why?
You should tell a pedophile to stop being attracted to kids.
Yeah. Tell a pedophile to stop being
because of morality.
David,
this is the guy who's like the new defender of 50-some-year-old men being attracted to 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old girls. And the guys he now rolls with are people who you could bang an 11-month-old baby as long as you get parental consent. And his response to people are gay is, well, there are people who are attracted to kids too, and that's wicked and evil and should be destroyed, right?
Hold on. Why do you think pedophilia is wrong?
Got him.
Because you cannot.
No. Answer. It's a good question.
Yeah, I need to make sure you have any idea. Yeah, tell me. No, wait, make him answer. Yeah, don't bail him out. Make him answer. Why is pedophilia wrong, Sneko?
Because it's not how a relationship. Because God says it's wrong.
That's the reason why. Hold on. Wait. This is so easy. So let's take it. So if God tells you that you can f kids like he did with Muhammad or whatever, you think that's okay then?
He walked right into it.
So then Sneko. So if God tells you that you can f kids like he did with Muhammad or whatever, you think that's okay then? That you would change your mind on that tomorrow?
That's not what happened.
No. I'm asking you. If God tells you, Sneko, I think that f kids is okay, then you would change your mind on.
Okay, David?
Yep.
Destiny just said, so if God tells you to F kids like he did to Muhammad or whatever, and Sneko said, that's not what happened.
That's literally exactly what happened, Sneko.
So here, narrated by Aisha herself, Allah's messenger said to me, you have been shown to me twice in my dreams.
In my dreams.
A man was carrying you on a silken cloth and said to me, this is your wife. I uncovered it, and behold, it was you. I said to myself, if this dream is from Allah.
Because God says it's wrong.
That's the reason why. Hold on, wait. So Sneko, no, wait. This is so easy. So then Sneko. So if God tells you that you can f kids like he did with Muhammad or whatever, you think that's okay then? That you would change your mind on that tomorrow?
That's not what happened.
I have no clue what he's thinking of as a Muslim that makes him think that God says it's wrong. But for some reason, Sneko just said, God says it's wrong, so it's wrong. And then Destiny replies, well, what if God says it's right? Then you'd have to say that it's fine, right? Because he did that with your prophet. And so he's just, I mean, one, he led right into criticisms of Islam, but two, Sneko just demolished Sneko's entire position of, hey, God says it's wrong. What if God says it's right? And Sneko's not going to have a response. He can't possibly have a response because his God, the God that he now believes in, says it's fine. He doesn't say it's wrong at all.
Asking you, if God tells you, Sneko, I think that f kids is okay, then you would change your mind on it tomorrow.
There has to be a justification for everything.
Oh, hold on. God has to justify himself? God has to justify it? If you're talking about the need for a justification, then that means something's not good because God says it. It's only good.
No, he's going to the Euthyphro. This is the Euthyphro dilemma. He just pulled the Euthyphro dilemma on Sneko, who has no idea what Euthyphro is or who Socrates is.
Where the justification is. So God saying things doesn't mean anything then. So you're just wrong on that. So then what's the justification then for why pedophilia is bad?
Because it's not, kids cannot consent.
There
It's
you
not
go.
able to-
Oh, my goodness.
So almost
A child is not capable of consent. It has to be a consenting adult, according to Sneako. So a 9-year-old girl is not consenting, and therefore a pedophile who's attracted to her, he should be told, stop doing that. Here's what's weird. He goes around defending child marriage now because he's been told by the Dawa guys, but all of his thinking right there is exactly what we'd want to say about Muhammad.
Yes. Yes.
Not
So
weird?
it just backfired on you.
That's weird,
That's it.
though.
Problem with it at all. We think that it's just because we have a different idea of what it means to be a child, which can be tracked historically. But now, if the situation has changed, we say that the general principle in Islam is, you can do what you kind of want, so long as, I'm not going to say you can do what you want so long as you harm it. You can marry whomever you want to marry, so long as it doesn't cause them harm, physical and psychological. So, for example, if I marry a 100-year-old woman, or Sneako, if you marry with your tank top a 100-year-old woman.
This is funny because Mohammed Hijab now in this discussion, where he gives his great Islamic opinion to the little Sneako, and this is long before this conversation with Destiny, by the way. He is coming at it from a different perspective. He's not even bringing up consent. What he brings up is actually what matters in Islam, by the way, which is that according to Islamic law, in Islamic tradition, for over 1,000 years, close to 1,400 years possibly, it has been always the principle that you can marry a girl at any age. You could arrange a marriage as soon as she's born. However, you can only get together and consummate the marriage if you are if the girl will not be physically harmed permanently as a result of sexual interaction. So it should be it should be made, it should be ensured that the girl will not be harmed, she will not be permanently damaged. And I know David likes to explain the details of that even further. I just don't want to do that at the moment.
Yeah, guys, and Muhammad Hijab knows this, right? Muhammad Hijab knows this. One, if you read this harm principle that he's talking about is just sort of a general thing, don't harm people, which you can't apply in all situations because they believe in violently subjugating the entire world and taking female captives and stuff. So they're pretty loose on what they're talking about as far as harming people and so on. But Hijab understands that some of his scholars have applied this to marrying children. They say, but make sure it doesn't cause harm. And Hijab knows this. He knows when he's talking to Sneako and he says, oh yeah, but you can't be harming he knows everyone's thinking, oh, okay, well, you can't be banging the kid until the kid is totally ready then, right?
Nope.
That's what everyone's thinking. That's not what the Muslim scholars mean by harm. They mean basically two things. One, if she's so tiny that you're going to crush her during sex, don't do it, because you've paid a bride price and stuff, and now you're going to be with this girl for a while. You don't want to crush her. So that's one thing. Make sure. So they actually talk about making sure she's a little chubby and stuff like that. And there's even hadiths where Aisha said that her mom had to fatten her up. Said she had to fatten her up to send her to Muhammad. So they want a little meat on your bones for cushioning, so you don't get crushed by this guy if you're a little girl. And the other is they were concerned about a girl being so small that you rupture her vagina and then turn the two holes into one hole, in which case you've damaged your girl for the rest of her life. That's the sort of thing that can be repaired today through surgery and so on. But for most of the history of Islam, it's a concern. You get this little girl and then you rip her open, and now I just ruined my girl, and now I'm all out of luck because now the two holes have become one and so on. This girl's messed up for life. That's what they're worried about. That's what they meant by don't harm. Hijab knows that, and he knows people are misinterpreting him, and that's an acceptable form of deception for him.
cannot consent.
There
if
you
they're not
go.
able to make a
Good job.
decision.
Yep, you got there. Good job. So
And also,
homosexuality.
no, it's really, don't good job me. It goes down to what we see from God. If God
No,
created
it
people,
doesn't. No, because you don't see God, so it doesn't matter. Okay.
There's no purpose. There's no purpose for a man to kiss
Listen,
another
that's
man.
Sneko.
It
If you
doesn't
need a
serve
book
any
to tell you
objective.
not to f kids, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, but most people can figure out why it's wrong on their own, and you got to the
I
answer in
think
the
maybe-
end, which is good.
maybe you need
which
that
is
book.
good. Which is good. Which is
The
good.
fact that you
Okay.
answered that question, maybe you
He's
need
praising him
No,
like a
you
little
can
kid.
What?
He's praising him like a little kid who just figured something out. Like, well, you did a good job. You know, I put
Good
2
job,
plus
good
2.
job.
I put 2 plus 2 up there, and up on the chalkboard, and you went 4s. Good job, boy.
It doesn't serve a greater purpose.
Every single thing in your life has to serve a greater purpose.
Exactly.
What do you think the age of consent should be, Sneko?
Oh,
Yes, here. This is it. This is it.
oh,
This is
that's
it.
perfect. That's perfect.
This is it.
That's what I heard. That's what I had heard about this discussion was it's about the age of consent. I just thought he randomly tossed it out there. Not that it led perfectly up to this, with Sneako then saying that the reason that pedophilia is wrong is because a child is incapable of consenting to a sexual relationship
Mhm.
with an adult, which brings up, well, what's the age of consent then, Sneako? At what age does a child become a relevant authority on his decisions for his or her decisions of sexual nature?
It was the perfect question.
At what age is a child capable of consent then, Sneako? Because he can't.
Nico knows the answer. Of course, he knows the answer. Let's see what he said.
This is not an important conversation.
No, it's a super. You don't think?
This is not
It
an
was a
important-
very important conversation, Sneako.
So his entire reasoning for why pedophilia is wrong was that a child cannot consent. But then when Destiny asks, "Okay, what is the age of consent?" he's like, "This is not an important conversation." It is very important. It is the
Yes, it is.
foundation. It is the foundation of the very discussion that you talked about just a few minutes ago.
Kids are incapable of consent, and then, well, at what age is a child capable of consent? He knows he's screwed, because what's he going to say? He can't say 10. He can't even say 10. He can't say 10 is the age of consent, because that would condemn Muhammad. And let alone the rest of the Dawa guys. I mean, he couldn't say 6 to Daniel Hakikachu. Couldn't say 6 because Daniel Hakikachu is fine with banging 3 or 4 year olds. And so, and then it's, well, this isn't important. No, it's very important. We're trying to figure out if you have a coherent view here. If you have a coherent view, if your view actually makes sense and you can make sense of your moral claims, you should be able to say why at some age a person is capable of consenting and another person isn't. But he can't say it. He can't say at this age or when this sort of thing happens, because anything he says at this point is going to condemn Muhammad. He can't do it, and he's just screwed. And then so he has to dodge it.
What do you think the age of consent should be, Sneko?
Yeah, this is not an important conversation.
No, it's a super. You don't think f***ing kids are not as an important conversation? What do you think the age of consent should be? If you want to be consistent, you don't think anything updates, just tell us what you think it should be.
I think it should be past, say, at a developed age. Dustin.
At a what is a developed age? If you had to
It's
set a
also
law
a
for it, what would you set it? What would you set it about?
Oh, God.
I'd say it's a developed age.
No, answer the question. You fucking
Yeah.
pussy. Holy shit! You're such a.
Yeah, guys. Apparently, Sneako has already picked up on the idea that you say things that are going to be misinterpreted by other people, even though you could justify it to your Muslim community. So when you say developed, well, I believe that a girl should be developed before she can consent. Guess what? Daniel Hakikachu would say the same thing, but he's talking about you can be developed, according to Daniel Hakikachu, by the time she's 4. She's not, they're not talking about being grown into an adult or anything like that. But they know that when a Westerner hears, wait until she's developed, they think, oh, waiting until she's all the way through puberty and she's developed into a woman. They know that's what the person is hearing. But Destiny is smart enough to know that that can't be what you mean. You can't possibly mean wait until she's a grown woman. You can't possibly mean that. So what do you mean by developed? Oh, just developed. Can't say just developed.
What do you mean? At a developed age
When
is
they're
the age of consent. Here is what Daniel Hakikachu thinks about that. And Daniel Hakikachu is familiar with Sneako, and Sneako is familiar with Daniel Hakikachu. In fact, they recently had a
They're best
conversation.
buddies.
Yes.
There are signs of physical maturity. It becomes permissible for the husband in Islamic law to have marital relationships or consummate the relation with his bride. And this is the example of the Prophet, peace be upon him.
Do you know what precocious puberty is?
Starting puberty unusually early.
Is there anything in Islam that prevents you from, a man marrying a 5-year-old that started precocious?
5-year-old.
You can arrange a marriage even as an infant, but that doesn't mean that sex is allowed.
Could a man have a marriage to a 5-year-old consummated if she started precocious puberty?
If she starts showing signs of physical maturity, then yes, that's permissible, as I said.
So there you have it. There you heard it right there. The question is very, very clearly and explicitly, can a man consummate a marriage, meaning have sexual relations, with a girl that is 5 years old and shows early signs of puberty? Daniel Kikiju says yes, because by his standards, that means she shows signs of maturity. Showing signs of maturity means your body is now developed, which is just absolutely ridiculous. So that makes it okay to have sex with that little 5-year-old girl.
Yeah, and I'd have to point out as well, again, the Quran does not say you have to wait for puberty. The Hadith does not say you have to wait for puberty. From an Islamic perspective, when you're saying you're waiting for signs of maturity, that's another situation. We hear signs of maturity. Oh, that you mean you've gone through puberty or something like that. From an Islamic perspective, signs of maturity means you're chubby. The girl is chubby enough to where you're not going to crush her during sex, and you can actually fit inside her without rupturing her.
Do you see how
you want to answer the question? You see how he's going to yacht and not answer the question? I'm going to ask the same thing when you're done. Go ahead.
I just answered the question. I just told
What was the age?
I just told you at a developed age.
Sneako thinks you should be able to 9-year-olds. That's what Sneako thinks. And he won't answer that question honestly. Or he's going to have to give a different answer, in which case he's updated his morality.
You can leave the call. I wanted to go talk about this.
I don't want to leave the call. I like hanging out here. I've talked to a lot of pedophiles in the past, so.
Okay.
Did he say he's talked to a lot of pedophiles in the past?
Yes. Okay, Sneako, I'm actually curious now. What do you think the age of development is?
I just told you. It depends on where you are. It depends on the world.
Then at what stage do you think somebody is developed?
It depends on where you are.
Yeah. Guys, this is an important question for someone who's trying to evade the issue. What do you mean by developed? Do you mean has grown into an adult woman? If so, you just condemned your prophet and 14 centuries of people in your religion. So you can't possibly mean that. What do you mean? Do you just mean she's developed to the point where you're not going to rupture her if you insert your penis inside of her? What do you mean? These are important questions. Do you can a 4-year-old be developed in whatever sense you're talking about? Or is that completely, is there something where you're not going to be developed until you're 11 or 12 or 13? If so, you've just condemned your prophet. That's the point. There's no way out. There's no way out for this, because to be a Muslim, he has to say whatever he means by developed, it can be a 7 or 8 or 9-year-old. Or if you're talking about consenting to a relationship, it has to be where a 6-year-old is capable of consent. So Aisha was capable of consenting to a marriage, even though she's not required to be in Islam. But Sneako has to be able to say that. That's the point. He can't say anything. If he says anything that is going to make him sound sane, it will be against Islam. And so he has to define developed in some way that makes sense in Islam, and that's going to make him sound really, really horrible to everyone else. So he's just choosing not to answer.
What's the of development? There's a lot of stages in
It
development.
varies. I don't think
It varies. It varies on the what?
I think it varies on the age.
It varies on the age.
It depends on where you are.
You need to have set ages for that. There are stages of development. As a child, an adolescent, an adult, and then fully developed. Like, is it the brain? Is it the body? Is it cognition? What parts of development is it? Can you?
That's actually important. That's actually important. What he just asked.
Too much time thinking about that.
Wow.
Okay, so if a man fucked a 12-year-old and he was like, well, this person was like really developed, would that be okay then? You wouldn't call that person a pedophile?
No, that's wrong. Absolutely.
Why is that wrong?
What?
I just said that you're not supposed to do relationships with people, but look.
Or you can't do
Wow.
He said 12. He specifically said 12. He gave Muhammad a 3-year buffer zone.
Okay, but Sneako's response to that is you're not supposed to have relationships.
Yeah.
So he's distracting from the point here.
Guys, he
Completely
just
distracting
condemned
from the point.
Muhammad. That's the title of your video. Sneako condemns Muhammad for pedophilia. You've got all the pieces in what Sneako just said to condemn Muhammad.
Relationships?
You can't do relationships with children. I said that. Like,
Wait, what is a child though? But what if they say they were developed?
Developed is 18 plus, bro. Like, come on now.
Ooh,
We
is
all
that,
know
do you
that.
co-sign that, Sneako? Is that what developed means? 18 plus?
Well, people believe that, but throughout a lot of states, a lot of it's like 17, a lot of it's 16.
Oh, so you think 16, 17, that's the ethical age to start marrying?
I don't follow, but see, I don't follow the legal morality that you guys are following.
Oh, you idiot! Then answer the question, you dummy. Then answer the question.
It's so fun. Destiny keeps going with whatever Sneako just said. Whatever Sneako just said, he goes, "Oh, so you're saying," and then Sneako has to deny it. It's my goodness.
I love how Destiny puts him on the spot there. Oh, okay. Do you agree with that, Sneako?
It's like 17, a lot of it's 16.
Oh, so you think 16, 17, that's the ethical age to start f***ing or
No,
marrying people?
I don't follow, but see, I don't follow the legal morality that you guys are following. So
I'm asking you for the
yours,
Sharia.
yours?
I'm asking you for the Sharia morality. What's the religious one? What do you think is the morality there?
It says developed. It's not a specific age.
So if the pedophile or if a guy wants to...
Oh gosh,
Where-
we know
where does
what
it
they
say
mean by
developed?
developed, guys. So that this is very. There's a reason to have this discussion, right? So they're saying, what is the age? What is the age? Like, what is the age? Are you saying it's 16? Are you saying it's 17? Are you saying it's 18? What is the age? The correct response from Sneako's position, in other words, the Dawa guys, is, yeah, but it doesn't make sense to say this is the age at which a girl is developed, because girls develop at different rates sometimes. So the question would therefore become what that Canadian maple syrup drinking dude said. What are the criteria? What are the criteria? If you're going to say, girls develop at different ages or something like that, what are the criteria? What are you looking for? What are you looking for? Fully grown? What are you saying? And Sneako can't answer, because the only answer he could give that would be correct from an Islamic perspective is you're not going to crush her or rupture her. That's developed. That would be the correct assessment from an Islamic perspective. He can't say that because that would be even more humiliating than what he's going through right now. And so he just has to keep his mouth shut.
Are you sick in the mind? Are you that mentally enslaved and intellectually subservient and intellectually molested and ideologically molested?
12-year-old, if it's like they're developed, then you're saying it should be okay in terms of religion, right? In terms of at least ethics or morality, right?
No, in the Quran, it does not specify. It doesn't have an age. Like, you're going to go in circles about this forever.
I'm just curious why it's so hard to get you to give an age for when you think is an acceptable time to f somebody.
I answered the same question 4 times.
You haven't given it. Developed isn't an age. It's not a number.
Nico, I think he's trying to make an understanding of how you apply it in the real world. How do you apply that knowledge or that piece of that phrase you're using, developed age, into the real world? How does somebody navigate that? Somebody who read the same book that you did, had your information. How do they navigate the world? How do they do it?
It's hard to understand you. How does someone navigate the world without a book?
What do you mean by developed? Look, a baby
Sneako.
is developed compared to a fetus, right? At every stage, you can say this thing is developed to some extent. What do you mean by developed? Because you could say it about anything. You could say it about any age. You could say that's more developed than before that. What the heck do you mean?
This is the thing.
He can't say it without making Islam look really bad.
And he doesn't want to present the answer because he doesn't want the backlash. He doesn't want the embarrassment. He doesn't want Islam to sound like something really barbaric and pedophilic, which it is. Which is why he's dancing around it and trying to act like he answered the question. That's what he's doing. That's what Sneako is doing. Destiny is very, very well aware of this, which is why he's tired of this. And
Which is why it's stupid to go into a discussion with Destiny
and bring up pedophilia.
Even stupider to walk right into a discussion on pedophilia.
It's pretty easy to tell if somebody's a developed human or not.
So that you trust every student has read the book to know what's development and know how to use that, and you trust that people will do that.
All right, Sneako. So
look at Destiny. Look at Destiny.
Yeah.
Oh my
he's
goodness.
had enough. So it's anyone can tell what is and is not developed. All right. So we just heard it. We just heard it a few minutes, 10 minutes ago or so, where Daniel Kikiju said that if a child begins showing signs of puberty at the age of 5, that means developed. 4 means developed. 3, by the way, according to the clip, still means developed. Even a hypothetical situation where an 11-year-old in an
11-month-old.
11-month-old in an extraordinary situation shows early signs of puberty, that would be developed by Daniel Kikiju standards. According to Islamic scholars, little children at the age of, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, as soon as they could take it and not be permanently broken, they would be developed. However, somebody who is basing their understanding of developed on a modern understanding on biology, on science, on the actual development, the brain development, the bodily, the sexual development of a human, probably has a completely different view of developed. So there is a huge range of when somebody can tell whether a girl is developed or not. So Sneko, your argument makes no sense at all. It is just dancing around the point again. He's terrified of answering the question, and we're not expecting anything smart from Sneko. Sneko is an idiot.
Well, this is also the value of having a community of people around you who are on the same sort of
Also, if
values.
you do it, so if you say, oh,
Okay, so if you're surrounded by a bunch of pedophiles and they all think, oh yeah, but I think this little 2-year-old, I think she's ready now, then that's all right.
Yeah. Plus, I had a dream where God was giving me that little baby.
Yeah.
You guys keep trying to make it seem like it's as concrete.
I'm not trying to make it is. It has to be concrete.
All right, I'm done with this. Don't be a pedophile. And thanks for watching. And as always,
stay away from Islam.
And also stay away from Islam.